What, as a parent, could you not believe you had to explain to another parent? My neighbor called me sobbing at 11 p.m., and what she discovered still haunts me to this day. Her husband had done something so unthinkable that I couldn't fathom how any parent's mind could work this way. Their 7-year-old son had been invited to his best friend's birthday party, something he'd been excitedly talking about for weeks. Instead of letting him enjoy this normal childhood milestone, my neighbor's husband decided to teach him about disappointment by secretly calling the birthday boy's parents and telling them his son was no longer coming because he didn't deserve parties until he learned to behave perfectly at home. The devastation was immediate and crushing. Her son had spent his allowance on a gift, helped wrap it with adorable crooked tape, and laid out his favorite shirt the night before. When Saturday came, he sat by the window in his party clothes for 2 hours, asking every few minutes when Daddy was taking it. Finally, his father announced there was no party, that he'd canceled it because real life doesn't reward mediocre behavior. The little boy collapsed in confused tears, asking what he'd done wrong, begging to know why his best friend didn't want him anymore. But the cruelty didn't end there. The birthday boy's mother called that evening, concerned because they'd saved cake and were worried something had happened. When she mentioned how disappointed her son was that his very best friend couldn't make it, my neighbor realized the horrifying truth. Her husband had lied to everyone. He told her son the party was canceled while telling the other family that their son was sick. When I confronted him the next day, he was completely unapologetic. He said, "The boy needs to understand that privileges are earned, not given. Maybe now he'll work harder to meet my standards." I was absolutely stunned. I had to explain to a grown man that you don't teach children about disappointment by manufacturing fake trauma. A 7-year-old's imperfect behavior at home has nothing to do with his friendships or social development. I told him he had just taught his son that love and social connections could be weaponized against him without warning. He was training his child to live in constant fear that any mistake could cost him everything he cared about. He had turned his son's father, his protector, into an unpredictable threat who could destroy his happiness on a whim. He argued that his own father used tough consequences to build character, and that's why he became successful. He said children today are too soft and need to learn that life isn't fair. I asked him how he'd feel if his boss secretly called his biggest client and canceled their meeting, then told him it was to teach him about disappointment because his quarterly numbers weren't perfect. I asked if he'd feel motivated to work harder or completely lose trust in his workplace. He said that was different because business relationships have contracts and expectations. I replied, "You're absolutely right. Your relationship with your son should have even stronger guarantees of safety and trust. A business partner who sabotages you faces lawsuits. A parent who sabotages their child faces a lifetime of damaged relationship, and a kid who learns to hide everything from them." The worst part? I had to explain that children develop their understanding of relationships through their parents. By showing his son that people who claim to love you will lie to you and destroy your happiness as punishment, he was setting him up for a lifetime of trust issues and unhealthy relationships. I asked him to imagine being 7 years old, dressed for your best friend's party, excited beyond measure, only to learn that your own father had secretly stolen that joy while making you believe you weren't wanted. He finally broke down when I asked him a simple question. What did you think would happen to his friendship when school started Monday and his best friend asked why he didn't come to the party? His face went white as he realized his lie would eventually surface, humiliating his son in front of classmates and destroying the friendship anyway. My neighbor's son forgave his father after a tearful apology and a makeup party, but the damage was done. He still asked for written confirmation before believing good news. That's the real tragedy. He stole his child's ability to feel pure excitement about anything because now there's always that whisper of doubt that it might be taken away.